Okay, the most obvious question could be is how's this all to begin? But if it were to be left in the unknown states and to rather explore the context as such, if it is to acknowledge that our emotional physical life is within existence with both the thought and emotional consciousness, but recognizing that within the thought consciousness it is also in existence with the descriptive state of ego and with the descriptive state of awareness. But from the descriptive state of ego, it has come to describe everything, life, earth, and the universe, within a vast yet limited physical descriptive state of distinguishing from the vast yet limited amount of knowledge that it has come to acknowledge from a vast yet limited physical state of existence. But from the descriptive state of awareness, it is acknowledging that life, earth, and the universe is more than a physical descriptive state of distinguishing, recognizing that life, earth, and the universe has all been described to be emotionally connected, infinitely connected. But if we were to explore context, that recognizing that there was once an infinite state of darkness, whereby within this infinite state of darkness was also an infinite state of knowledge without any direction, and this infinite amount of knowledge is also able to be described as the infinite state of truth. But through this darkness came a piercing of light, a very, very tiny piercing of light, whereby this light gave reason for this knowledge to be attracted to somewhere, give it some course of direction. But this light has also been described as the infinite state of love, and with this knowledge being attracted into the infinite state of love, it has come to create the infinite state of happiness, thus giving meaning to reason and to the knowledge. And if it has been described that everything is originated from the center of the universe, with the universe being so infinitely expansive, it is also able to be recognized that the infinite state of the universe is able to be anywhere and able to be in an infinitely unknown state. But especially if it is to be described as the state of a speck or a dot or even that of a molecule. But recognizing that the universe is infinitely expansive, it is also recognizing that it is also in existence with the other galaxies, other planets, and other solar systems. But if we were to explore the context of black holes and how scientists have come to state that the measurement within the center of a black hole is infinite, recognizing that the knowledge within the center of a black hole is infinite, recognizing that black holes are possibilities to parallel dimensions other to what we are physically experiencing within this current time. But deepening this exploration, and if we were to reflect on the context, how our ancients have come to describe other existing beings on this planet with a higher state of intelligence, and that if we were to encounter these other existing beings, they would be described as aliens, and whereby our ancients have described them as worldly gods. But again, from the ego descriptive state, these worldly gods have always been described as myth, and the human intelligence has always been described to be the highest, and aliens seemingly just don't exist. But if we were to reflect on the context, then notice is that with the descriptive state of awareness, we are able to emotionally explore our imagination that is created from a known state of within the emotional consciousness, recognizing that this known state is the meaningful state of happiness within our emotional consciousness. And through these imaginative states, if love is able to express itself, in a physical descriptive state for us to explore some state of clarity. It is also acknowledging that love is also able to create these divine beings, so to speak, for our state of awareness to acknowledge some form of state of clarity from the answers that we may be seeking from the physical descriptive stage with the described state for ego, recognizing that through this acknowledgement with the descriptive state of awareness, we will come to acknowledge the answers within the physical descriptive state with the descriptive state of ego as well. So, if love is able to be described as God, and God is love, it is also acknowledging that, again, love is able to physically manifest these beings. And if these beings are manifested from love and coming to us with a state of clarity, it is also acknowledging that these beings are also able to be described as angelic beings, recognizing that if angelic beings within the physical descriptive state of existence are able to be described with individuals, plants, animals, birds, all who are expressing through the notion of the descriptive state of awareness and with the emotional consciousness, which is completely different to what the usual ego would come to express within the physical descriptive state of reality. It is acknowledging that angels are within existence. Every single time a person does something miraculous, it is an angelic action. It is an angelic notion. And if we are able to express from the state of awareness this knowledge, it is also acknowledging that within this physical descriptive state, our angelic sense is also able to be messengers of God, messengers of love. Every single time we come to express a notion of love, a message of love, a message of truth, a message of peace, a message of happiness, a message of possibilities, a message of creativity, this is all a message of God. This is all a message of love. But within our dimensions, in our emotional dimensions, if it is to acknowledge that we are within the physical descriptive state, which has been described as the third dimension, and heaven, so to speak, has been described as the eighth dimensional realm, recognizing that there are 7 different dimensions in between the two, or in between the two, recognizing that if there were to be a higher state of intelligence, recognizing that there have been prophets, Bob Marley for instance, Dalai Lama for instance, Jesus for instance, Gandhi for instance, these individuals with a higher sense of divinity on this physical plane could all be described as archangels, recognizing that these archangels are guiding angels to the different portals, the different dimensions, a higher state of transcendence, recognizing that if it were to reflect on this context and exploring the context that notices this, and if the 8th spiritual dimensional realm, which again has been described as heaven, has always been described to have this sense of lion archangel that welcomes into the lion through the lion's gate on the 8th of August. Obviously, the lion's gate, this is the entry into heaven, and it is acknowledging that the 4th dimensional realm is with the archangel of the serpent. But on a broader perspective on this, on the physical plane, reflecting back on the ancients, there's always been a great fascination with the Egyptians. Obviously, they've always spoken about consciousness, the pineal gland, alien beings, the pyramids, astrologers, you name it. But they have come to be more of deathly worshippers, recognizing that the Osiris was once a divine and came to rule the underworld, and his brother Set, which again was a serpent, came to rule the underworld, and pharaohs again always professed themselves as worldly gods, and where the ancient Egyptians enslaved thousands and thousands of Hebrews and also thrived on materialistic wealth. I mean, the ancient Egyptians loved gold. And reflecting on the serpents on this context, if we had to reflect on the serpents as the betrayal of the dragon, this is a clear indication towards the Illuminati, whereby again the Illuminati is clearly in existence. If we were to reflect on the little symbol on the American dollar bill, whereby again reflects the Egyptian pyramid with all-seeing eye, and again not stating that okay, the astrologers were also Egyptians, but the Mayans and the Aztecs were also astrologers, but the Mayans and the Aztecs were more of an earthly emotional consciousness, whereby more of a loving consciousness to the earth and to life, whereby the Egyptians, out of most of the context, has always been described out of the Book of the Dead. Again, the dead obviously symbolizes some dark matter to it, but again, archangels are these different beings within our emotional consciousness, these different beings that are able to, for our states of awareness to transcend into different dimensional realms, are able to be described as individuals and beings from other planets, so to speak. And if that is within equal understanding, may it be so. Namaste.